Look what we got here. Hey, you want to drive, huh? Come on. See that telephone pole? We'll take you to it, yeah. Yeah, we can take you. I think we got a pretty nice. Well, I can take you, yeah. Yeah, come on, you want to try? Sure. Okay. Rev it up. Come on, man, get ready.
Paradox of Oblivion. The only thing that cannot be forgotten is the fact that everything will be. You were not consulted before you were born. No one asked whether you wanted a body, a name, a hunger that never quite goes away. You were thrown, the existentialists had a word for it, Geworfenheit, hurled into existence without consent, without instructions, without guarantee. And the first thing you learned, before you had language for it, was that all of this would end. Not might, would. That is the wound at the center of consciousness. Not death itself. Death is simple, biological, almost boring in its mechanics. The wound is knowing. The wound is standing inside your own life, feeling its warmth, and understanding with absolute clarity that this warmth is borrowed, that the loan has no terms, that it can be called back at any moment without warning, without reason, without apology. And then, beyond even that, the wound deepens. Not only will you end, but the memory of you will end. The people who loved you will end. The people who loved them will end. Every ripple you sent into the world will flatten, slow, and disappear into a surface so vast and so still that it will be as though the ripple never existed. This is not pessimism. Pessimism implies a judgment. This is simply what is. The absurd inheritance. Camus said the only serious philosophical question is whether or not to kill yourself. He was not being provocative, he was being precise. Because if oblivion is certain, if nothing you do will survive, if no meaning you construct will outlast the species that constructed it, then the question of why continue is not rhetorical. It is the most practical question a conscious being can ask. And yet you woke up this morning. You made coffee, or you didn't. You checked your phone. You moved through the rituals of a life that the universe has already scheduled for demolition. You did this not because you solved the question, but because the question does not actually stop you. It sits in the room with you. It watches, but it does not hold the door shut. This is what Camus called the absurd. Not the meaninglessness itself, but the collision between your desperate need for meaning and the universe's absolute refusal to provide it. You are an animal that requires significance, living in a cosmos that has never heard the word. And still you get out of bed. There is something in that, something the philosophers have circled for centuries without quite catching. It is not hope. Hope implies expectation, and oblivion has made expectation obscene. It is not courage, exactly, because courage implies a threat you might overcome, and oblivion is not a threat. It is a fact. What it is, perhaps, is defiance. Quiet, irrational, groundless defiance. The act of living fully inside a life you know will be erased, not because the erasure might be wrong, but in spite of knowing it is certain. Nausea. Sartre wrote about nausea, not the physical kind, but the vertigo that strikes when you suddenly perceive the raw, unjustified existence of things. A tree root, a park bench, your own hand. Stripped of the labels and purposes we drape over them, things simply are, for no reason, with no explanation, grotesquely and excessively present. Oblivion is the mirror image of this nausea. If existence is excessive, oblivion is the correction, the universe reasserting its preference for silence. And what is terrifying is not that the correction will come, but that it will be so thorough, so complete, so indifferent to what it erases. You have sat in a room and felt, for a moment, the full weight of your own existence, the strangeness of being here, of being you, of inhabiting this particular body at this particular time, in this particular corner of an indifferent galaxy. In that moment, you touch something real, something prior to language, prior to meaning, prior to the stories you tell yourself about who you are and why you matter. Oblivion will take that too, not violently, not maliciously, simply, the way a tide takes a footprint, not because the footprint offended it, because tides do not know what footprints are. The freedom you did not want. Here is the part that most people turn away from. If oblivion is total, if nothing survives, if no cosmic ledger records your choices, if no God tallies your suffering, if the universe at its heat death will contain no trace of anything that ever lived, then you are, in the most terrifying and absolute sense, free. Not free the way advertisements mean it, not free the way politicians mean it, free the way a falling object is free, without anchor, without reference point, without ground. There is no wrong way to live a life that will be forgotten. There is no right way either. There is only the living of it, raw, ungraded, unjudged by anything larger than yourself. Every moral system, every ethical framework, every religion and philosophy that has ever attempted to tell you what your life should mean, all of it is a human construction, built on a void, and the void does not validate or reject it. The void does not do anything, it is a void. This freedom is unbearable. Kierkegaard called it anxiety, not fear of something specific, but the dizziness of looking into unlimited possibility with no external structure to catch you. You can do anything, you can be anything, and none of it will matter in the end. The weight of that freedom has broken people. It has also, on occasion, made them extraordinary. Because when you stop performing for eternity, when you abandon the fantasy that your life is being watched, recorded, graded, something shifts. You stop living for a future that will forget you. You stop accumulating meaning like a currency to be cashed in at death. You begin, perhaps for the first time, to live inside the moment itself. Not because the moment is all that matters in some inspirational poster sense, but because the moment is all there is. It is the only territory you will ever actually occupy. The paradox, restated. And so you arrive back at the beginning. The only thing that cannot be forgotten is the fact that everything will be. Sit with that. It means that consciousness, this strange, accidental, temporary flicker, carries within it the knowledge of its own annihilation. You cannot unlearn oblivion. You cannot return to the animal innocence of a creature that does not know it will be erased. You are condemned to awareness, condemned to build sandcastles with full knowledge of the tide. And here is the paradox made flesh. This awareness, this curse, is also the only thing that makes your life more than biology. The dog does not know it will be forgotten, and so the dog cannot choose how to live in the face of forgetting. You can. You are the only being in the known universe that can stare into the abyss of its own erasure and decide deliberately to love someone anyway, to make something anyway, to sit in a room and think about oblivion and feel, against all logic, that the thinking itself is worth doing. This does not rescue you. Nothing rescues you. Oblivion is not a problem with a solution. It is a condition of existence, as fundamental as gravity, as inescapable as time. But you knew that already. You have always known it. Every human being who has ever lived has known it, in their bones, in the quiet hours, in the space between sleep and waking, when the masks come off, and the self confronts itself without decoration. The question was never, will I be forgotten? The question was always, what will I do with the knowing? You are still here. The paradox has not killed you. The awareness has not dissolved you. You are reading these words with a mind that will one day cease, in a body that will one day fail, on a planet that will one day burn. And still, something in you is paying attention. That is not nothing. That may, in fact, be everything.